guys and girls, welcome back. So here we are exploring one of the most controversial games ever made. It is of course the world-renowned Manhunt. This has been a long time coming and I've managed to find things within this game that I couldn't find documented anywhere. So you may be seeing things in this video that haven't been seen before, which is pretty damn exciting. But first of all, before we even go into the game, check out this hidden message that can be heard on the title screen. How weird is that? But it gets even weirder when you decide to reverse the audio.
Daddy didn't see what would happen if she left me. Mommy's supposed to care, but she was never there.
Looks like this goes all the way to the top.
Alright, so moving on from that, I need to explain before we go any further that due to the way the cutscenes in Manhunt are made and played in the game, I can't move the camera during them. I believe they are pre-rendered using the game engine, but if you can imagine a 2D image being stuck to the lens of a camera, then no matter where the camera goes, the image follows. That's basically what happens when I try to move the camera.
Death row for the past 3 years and was executed last night.
However, these cameras that look like security camera footage can be moved, although there's not too much point in doing this, as they're mainly all accessible areas whilst we play the game, so we'll be taking a look at these places anyway.
Okay, are you ready? Camera, action.
First of all, as we always try and do, let's take a close-up of our lead character in this game. It's James Earl Cash. Now, unlike some other games that we've looked at previously, what you see from the outside of the character model is exactly what you get. There's nothing hidden on the inside like teeth on tongues or eyeballs like we sometimes find. During the game there are plenty of references to other Rockstar games and such. I'm not going to point them all out because it would take too long, but we will have a look at some of them later in the video. For now, let's take a look at where the Hood Hunter comes from when we enter the basketball court.
The gate will open once I'm done filming here.
So we can just about see there he spawns in the shadows of this archway and drops down before the animation shows him running towards us, and this is pretty standard for when the hunters spawn in most of the levels we'll be taking a look at. The only thing that I could find in the first scene that seemed quite peculiar was inside the hardware store that we never enter. For some reason, as you can see, I found a metal gate had been placed inside here. Check out these windows in the back of this police van. Now, as far as I could find, this is the only police van in the game that has this texture problem. But as you'll see, if we do fly the camera through the window, the van does have an interior. Let's just take a quick fly over the top of the outdoor shopping mall to take a look at it from a top-down view. We can also get a quick look at the disposal chute that we have to drop down at the end of the scene, and I thought I'd show this because normally the game cuts away before we drop down. Not that there's too much to see down here, other than, as you'd imagine, some litter.
I need to take a leak. I'll be outside.
Well, we all need to take a leak at some point, but does this hunter really have what it takes? Well, there's nothing to see here, but by the looks of things, he really should be drinking more water rather than energy drinks. Whilst on the mission Doorway to Hell, there is a large section of the map that is inaccessible, and now of course we wouldn't normally be able to do this, but I was curious to know what was in these lit up rooms in the building across the road from where the toxic pea hunter is. And at first I thought there was nothing at all, until I flew the camera into one of the rooms that for some reason has glass bottles inside. Which is certainly strange considering we never enter this building during the scene, but I will be showing more strangely placed items like this in various scenes throughout the video. As I mentioned earlier in the video, there are a lot of models and textures in this game that can be found in previous and other Rockstar games, such as these toilet machines which made an appearance back in GTA 3, and these aren't the only ones. Various vending machines and even car models can be found. Many say this is Rockstar just being lazy, but whether it is or not, I kind of enjoy finding these things. I remember playing this game when I was younger, and I always wanted to know what was on the higher levels of the library, because there are a couple of doors that you can see from the basement, and although I've found there's nothing really special up here or anything through those doors, it was just cool to finally be able to take a look. Making these videos isn't always pleasant, and sometimes I do have to take a look at things just in case. I mean, who knows, instead of that crap on the back of the toilet, it might have been an Easter egg. Although it wasn't, so let's quickly move on. And in the very same scene, we can find a stash of bottles and glass hidden behind this building that we can't get access to. Sounds interesting, but is this hunter really watching what we think he might be? No, of course not, the TV's turned off. Grounds for Assault was one of my favourite scenes to play. I thought the design of the map really suited the game. However, to explore, well, there really wasn't a lot out there to see. In fact, pretty much everything you can see whilst playing the game normally is all that's out there. The only thing I found interesting in this scene is when we make the transition from this one to the next, and you'll see what I mean by that in just a moment. So this is the gate we go through to exit this scene, and as you can see the path goes around to the right. There is also a small door on the left hiding in the shadows of the tunnel. However, on entering the next scene, strapped for cash, the path now leads round to the left. Only a minor detail I know, but one I picked up on.
Each time they spot you, these war dogs are going to execute one of your beloved family.
After releasing the family members, where do they run off to? If you ever wondered this, then they just run out of the normal camera sight and disappear. As we go to the back of the map in this scene, where you would normally find a tranquilizer rifle, you may see this giant solid metal gate with a bin in front of it. Now this gate never opens, however if we go over the top of it, check out what we can find on the other side. From the look of this, I believe this area was originally going to be open to use, however for some reason it's then been sectioned off. Maybe the developers thought it added too much of a large area, or maybe for another reason, but for whatever the reason, it is pretty cool to take a quick look around.
Beautifully done, Cash. Now just toddle back up to the bar and enjoy the show.
Towards the end of View of Innocence, a chap jumps out of the toilet in the bar corridor. But is he stood in the toilet all the time? Well, no, he actually spawns inside there as we enter the bar, but only after picking up the camera. Now, take a look at this, guys. If we fly the camera back out into the mall and then we go over to this door that says no entry, well, it doesn't have to be this door, I just thought it was quite fitting, but if we go to the other side, fully outside of the map itself, there's a huge rectangular box with characters and items on the top. And these are out here because the characters spawn into the level when we activate the cutscene. However, I'm not entirely sure why there's a female family member out here because we don't see her during the scene at all. Could it be that she was removed at some point? So here is the cutscene that we see, and I'm gonna show you the best I can in slow motion the characters spawning into it when I activate it. Hopefully you just about caught that happening. It was a nightmare to film just those few seconds. Anyway, what happens after the cutscene finishes? Well, there you go, guys. He actually cuts him loose. It is only a show after all. Alright guys, I've been looking forward to showing you this one for quite a while now, and it's something that I haven't been able to find documented anywhere in all the videos I've watched, and even on various websites about this game. So, in the scene Graveyard Shift, I took the camera into the corridor where the gate closes after the first cutscene, and found these newspapers on this shelf, and I have managed to find them in a couple of other locations too, so you can see this for yourselves, but on the paper you can just about read "High Bees foundering but Jambo's safe." Now I've got to admit I had no idea what this meant at the time, but after doing a bit of research I found out that High Bees and Jambos are nicknames for the Scottish football clubs Hibernian FC and Hearts FC. Now, as you may know, Rockstar North headquarters are based in Edinburgh, Scotland. Hearts FC is a club from, well, yes, you guessed it, Edinburgh. Now, if you do want to know more, then all you need to do is look up the year when the game was first released, 2003, and the Scottish Cup. And if this little Easter egg has gone unnoticed until now, how cool is it that we're seeing it together here first? But the cool sightings don't stop there, because in the very same scene, beyond the automatic metal gates, outside of the playable map, we can find various items, as well as a hunter who, rather than hunt, just prefers to stand around with the rats and chill out. At the end of the scene doing time, once we get to the shower gate, try this out. Without getting too near to the gate, which will activate the end cutscene, take a peek through the gate just to the left, and what you may see is an unused weapon from the game that we can't pick up during normal gameplay. It is actually a baseball bat with nails through it. The disappointing thing about this bat is that it has the same kill animations as the normal bat. Believe me, I've tried it out, which could explain why we don't get to pick it up, as it would be rather pointless. As you saw just a moment ago at the end of doing time, some of the map from the next scene, Kill the Rabbit, is loaded up, albeit very basic with no textures. But here it is after moving on. Now if we go back to try and find the nail bat, we can see that it's been removed.
You made it! Oh dear, you see, you didn't make it after all!
What can I say? You are a good leading man. The audience will love you.
Upon entering the workshop, we see the rabbit run away, but where does it go?
Good leading man. The audience will love you. Don't expect
One
any
final
wild
strange bit of
chicks.
trivia during this scene that some of you will probably already know is that there are two keys. The normal one that we get from killing the rabbit, but hidden through the exit gate is another one just to the left, which you can from normal gameplay see. Now this key does work on the gate, but it only works after killing the white rabbit anyway. Press coverage has a few Easter eggs and secrets that I wanted to take a closer look at, mainly to do with the reporter's apartment and the pictures inside. In the bedroom, anybody recognise these cat pictures? Of course, that was the awesome GTA San Andreas, which we did an exploration of not too long ago, but there is one picture in this room that I don't recognise, and it's over here on the bedside cabinet. Who is this guy? Moving through the apartment into the kitchen, there's a well-known Easter egg, but I will show it anyway. No prizes for guessing what the smiley face on the calendar is for.
It's gonna be fine. Everything I need is in that box under the table.
Good. Take it and get out of town.
But you're not coming with me?
I'm going to deal with Starkweather personally. Thank him for my second chance. You're my backup if I don't make it. Have a nice life.
During that clip on the back wall of the office, we can see some newspaper cuttings and pictures on a notice board, but we don't get to see them too close up. Now it is believed that the pictures of Cash are actually early design shots. Something that I did find quite amusing at this point is if we climb back up the ladder to take a look into the apartment, we can find the reporter hovering just above the ground. Another set of Easter eggs I came across that I couldn't find documented anywhere else can be found in the scene wrong side of the tracks. Now take a closer look at this underground rail map and there might be some names that stand out, like this one, Bertram. Now it can't be a coincidence that one of the artists from the game was Gillian Bertram, and there's probably more names on this map that we could find. But it's not only this large map, take a look at this smaller map next to the first train. How cool is that? But the fun doesn't even stop there, because if I spin the camera round and we take a closer look at the train time monitors hanging down from the ceiling, check out some of the names on these. Now, like I said previously, I haven't found the names on the underground maps and the newspaper Easter egg documented anywhere, and I've looked at every Gaming Secrets website I know of, and I've even had a couple of my friends looking, and we couldn't find a reference about them anywhere. That's not to say that they haven't been shown somewhere, just that we couldn't find it. So it's pretty cool to think that we could be showing them here for the first time, and you viewers out there could be seeing them here for the first time. Especially as they've gone unnoticed on a game that's almost 15 years old this year. But if anyone does know any more information about these Easter eggs, then of course feel free to leave a comment. It would be great to hear from you. Moving on to a little Easter egg or secret that is fairly well known, but some of you may not have seen it before, is in the scene Border Patrol. We can find these bodies hanging on the bushes, and I think it's fairly obvious what it's supposed to look like. What you may not know is these bodies are believed to be the beta model of Cash, and we can actually find this model in an earlier scene too. During the scene Key Personnel, if I fly the camera outside, we get a better look of the layout of the mansion. Now I may be wrong here, but it looks to me very similar to the layout of a mansion we saw in a previous episode, albeit with some minor changes. Could this be the Vassetti Estate mansion? Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Also, whilst we're playing through this scene, something that I really struggled with was getting beyond this door that has the metal plaque outside saying Head of Security. I tried several times to enter this room, but for some reason could never get in here. The door always seemed to be locked, no matter what I did in various playthroughs, although when I take the camera inside the room, as you can see, there are collectibles in here. So I'd just like to ask, have you viewers been in here? And if so, how did you manage to get in? Just before we finish off, as we've already passed that 20-minute mark, this wouldn't be a true Manhunt video if we didn't show the awesome character Pigsy. So here it is. Check it out. Huge chainsaw, huge belly, and a really messed up pig's head. Again, there isn't anything more to Pigsy than you can see from the outside, but it is rather cool to be able to take a close-up of him without being chainsawed to death. Last but not least, we're gonna be entering the room in which we come face to face and ultimately end up killing Starkweather. At this point I've not tried to enter the door, so as you saw there, his guards are still waiting behind it. But that's not really what I want to show you. The reason we're here is because I found something quite strange hidden outside the back of the map. Take a look at this. There seems to be some sort of metal cage hidden beyond the walls of Starkweather's office, and so you can see it better, I've gone ahead and teleported Cash inside of it. I have no idea why it's here. Could it have been part of the game at some point? Maybe even Pigsy was caged up inside of this. Who knows? There's all sorts of possibilities. Again, let me know what you think it could be for. Sadly, that is it for another episode. A big shout out to Drakon and a huge thank you for the amazing support and donation. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, but until next time, as always, take care out there, guys.
I'm all the family you need now.